Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the StreamYard Spotlight Show. I am your co-host, Dana Bentz.
And I'm your co-host, Kelsey Bentz. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, thanks so much. I see we already have some of our per usual regulars tuning in. Jamie, thanks for tuning in. Good morning. Good morning to you too. It's morning for our guests this evening.
It is.
Which is so funny, which is so fun. And I see Jerry in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always super fun for Kelsey and I just to learn about how global our audience is. We also do this, we also ask in our StreamYard webinar that we do together where everyone is tuning in from. And that's super fun to see. Like this morning we had, from New York to Brazil, all over the world, people are using StreamYard, which is just fun to see. Yeah,
it is.
And the Adventures of Gonzo. Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. So without further ado, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And like we always say, if you have any questions for our guests tonight, please let us know in the comments because, we ask our questions, but we love when you interact with them too and get to know them. Hello. Hi, Stefan.
Hey, Stefan.
It's Bentz time. And if you've never been here before, this is the StreamYard Spotlight Show where Kelsey and I get to spotlight a different member in our streaming community, which we get to spotlight Dan and Orla today. So without further ado, let's bring them on. Welcome to the Spotlight, Dan and Orla.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey.
Good. How are
Thanks
you
for
guys?
joining us.
Thank you for having us
Thank
on.
you.
It's great.
Yeah, we have a lot to learn. So can you tell our audience just a little bit about yourselves and what AccessLOOP is?
Sure.
Do you want to go first? Oh, okay. Go on then. Hi, I'm Dan. My background is I'm an independent webcast engineer and producer, and I've been doing that for the last 12 years, so pre-COVID. But since COVID came along, I've been using StreamYard since about this time last year, just because it's beautiful. It's so simple to use, and it's browser based. My internet's rubbish, and it just works really well. And so I've been working with Orla for about the last 6 years, and we've been working to create webcasts which are accessible.
Got it.
So
Awesome.
I'm going to hand over to Orla.
Cool. So my name is Orla Pearson, and I run a company called MyClearText, which provides live captioning with humans, not AI, for every kind of event. And we've been really busy, actually, with lockdown, with lots of customers from wanting to use StreamYard. And the difficulty for us was trying to get those captions onto StreamYard and make it look good, which was really difficult. So Dan and I, as he said, we've been working together a long time. And StreamYard was one of the reasons we wanted to make AccessLOOP, because we wanted to make StreamYard accessible.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it.
That's so
it
cool.
was very much in our minds as we built AccessLOOP.
Wow. I didn't know it was inspired by StreamYard streams.
Very much so, actually.
Yeah.
What would StreamYard do?
It was just, I really, like to be able to use all the features of StreamYard. But when you start, if you're bringing in sign language interpreters, it just, you're sort of juggling people around and it just gets really, really complicated. Whereas with AccessLOOP, it does allow you just to focus on StreamYard, get the show going out really well. But then you've also got the accessibility side of it as well, which works really well.
That's fantastic.
It was so great when we finished AccessLOOP to be able to then go back to those clients who were using it regularly and say, hey, we have a proper solution for you now. And they loved it.
Yes.
Right.
So AccessLOOP was created within the last year or two. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been out. Most people learned to bake cookies in lockdown, but we decided to build a platform.
Yes. I love that.
That's awesome.
We started building in September, October. That was when the development build happened, and we finished in March. So
wow! Congratulations! Yes, brand new.
Super exciting. So before we jump into how it works, I just want to know, when I think of captions, it's like everything, it just makes sense for it to be automated, like Google speech recognition or whatever. But how is it possible to do real-time live captions with a person?
Sure. So stenographers or captioners, they train for a very long time and they use a specialist keyboard, which is called a stenography machine. It's only got like 22 keys on it, but it's like you basically learn a new language, a code. And it's a phonetic code that when you listen, you type the code, and you can type the code at up to 300 words a minute. So accurately, with the punctuation.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm always
stunning.
impressed. I'm always impressed when I see Orla and her team working. It's just incredible. I'm quite good at like learning new things, but I've looked at their stuff and I'm just like, no. This is just a dark art.
So tonight I was doing a show and there was a comedian, and AI captioning can't handle that kind of material because he was all over the place and the punctuation was so very important to show where was a joke, where was not. He was spelling things out, he was doing stuff, and in order to give that flavor to the deaf and hard of hearing audience or the neurodiverse audience, you've really got to know what the person's talking about and know what they mean and be able to reflect that back in the text.
Yes.
So AI captions is kind of like watching somebody talk with no expression on their face. You don't.
It
really
really
know if it's
is,
a joke.
and a lot of
really
errors.
Know what they mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always noticed that with like the auto captions on any service. I'm like, it's great that they're here, but I find myself distracted by all the errors that are happening because it's different from. I mean, I don't have, hearing difficulty, so it's probably different, obviously. But that being said, it is like distracting for me because I'm like, that's wrong. Like
it becomes a conversation. It becomes part. It becomes the conversation in chat, not what people are watching. So it's not for professional use, is what I would say.
Yeah, thanks, Neil, for that comment.
Yeah,
we did a demo with him a couple of weeks back, and he's a great guy.
Cool. Yeah, he is a streamer expert. I think he uses Streamer every single day.
Neil is a VIP. So should we jump right into the sort of like demo of AccessLOOP? I'm really excited. Let's bring it up.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think it just helps you to see how it all fits together. So so you'd set up your event in StreamYard as normal, but instead of sending it straight to YouTube or Facebook, you'd have to set up a custom job. So this is the AccessLOOP project dashboard. So I'm just going to create a new project. Let's call it. And I'm not a captioner, so I can't type without making mistakes.
Good one.
So
that would not be the career for me.
Yeah, so you set up a project, same as you would in StreamYard, and then you pop these details straight into the custom RTMP server.
Oh, so AccessLOOP gives you the RTMP and the stream key, and you plug that into StreamYard as a custom RTMP destination.
Yeah. So I can just drag that across.
So here we are.
You can see how.
Perfect. So now you're creating the broadcast on StreamYard, connecting that destination.
So you're streaming to AccessLOOP.
Yep, from StreamYard.
Okay, allowing the cam and mic.
Yeah, there we go. And then I can just go live, and now it's streaming to AccessLOOP. So I'm just going to shove that back over there and ignore that. And then you need to put in your destination. So say you've set up a Facebook Live event or a YouTube Live. You just pop those stream key details in there, so you'd get those from YouTube. I know Tim is asking in different languages. So when you put your destination in, there's a drop down here, and you can select your language caption, which is amazing. So you can choose from up. There's over 100 languages in there.
And you can stream 9 at the same time. And what's amazing, I know we were talking about AI captioning, but it uses AI captioning to translate the languages. But what you have is it doesn't do any listening. It's very different to normal AI caption. There's no listening. It takes the English captioners' English captions, which have all the correct grammar. You've corrected people's accents. If people haven't said a sentence fluidly, you'll correct it. And that's what goes into the AI. And it doesn't translate word by word or phrase by phrase. It translates sentence by sentence. So actually the translation's pretty good. We were demoing today in simplified Chinese, and we had a speaker on. He was like, this is great. The translation's great. So it's a very different AI translation. So, yeah.
So just to clarify, when you want to send your stream to like YouTube or Facebook, you create that stream on YouTube and grab the RTMP and stream key from the YouTube stream and then plug it into AccessLOOP and not into StreamYard.
Yeah. So
got it. Got
it does mean that you can't pull the comments in, but you can. But obviously, from StreamYard, you can send 2 streams. So you could have a stream without the captions, and then you can be pulling the comments from that. So that's just one way. There's so many different ways of using this. So if you want the captions on, you select captions. We can change the size, the color. We'll stick to white.
Cool.
And then to bring the captioner in, you just pop their name and the email address. So we use a text platform called StreamText, and you need to use so most captioners will have an account. So you need to use the email address with that. Orla, have you got your equipment set up?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm ready to go.
Cool. Okay, let's get Orla in.
This is our stenography machine. All ready to go. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Wait, can we see that bigger? Dana, can you make
Orla? Oh, yeah, let's make her for
Can we see that just to see that equipment really quickly? That's very cool.
Am I right? That's my
look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah. What does
that's really neat.
Yeah.
I love it.
So all you need to do, just put their name, email address, and they'll get an email. And all they do is, once they've got the email, they just click join event, and they'll be in a back end similar to this, and they'll be able to see the stream coming from StreamYard. So they'll get all the sound and they'll get the video, and then they can
normally I'd have to have a separate call set up. I don't have to have that because that's all in AccessLOOP now. So it's less work for the producer. It's less people on StreamYard. If you've got a lot of guests, you don't want a captioner and sign language interpreters taking up spaces. So it's pretty cool.
And it's exactly the same with sign language. So I've just toggled on the sign language. I'm going to invite myself. What I'll do is I'll invite myself twice because there's a feature within AccessLOOP which allows the interpreters to do their own changeovers, which also then takes the pressure off the person who's producing this, producing the event.
And there's nothing out there that allows people to do that easily at the moment. It's so we provide interpreters as well, and it's an incredibly difficult and not a good experience for the end viewer, because you have someone like Dan who has no idea about sign language, changing over randomly, hoping
trying not to cut them in mid-sentence.
He always does. So
we experienced that in our StreamYard Summit.
Yeah.
And then what you can do is you can scale the incoming video. So that means whatever you're sending from
cool
it off, the sign language person isn't cutting it off, and then you've got a chat, so then you can chat to whoever's doing the captions or sign language.
love how reminiscent this is of the StreamYard simplicity. Like I'm just seeing in this site, like it's so simple, and I just think that's fantastic. Like you have that one invite link for your interpreter, they come in, you have that chat, like everything's on the left hand side. That's just really, really great.
Yeah, it looks quite easy to use.
And then
we did actually keep that in mind. We kept saying we need it to be as simple as StreamYard, because
that's so neat.
So we've designed this to be used by non-technical people as well as technical people. And so the simplicity was really, really key for us. So I'm going to.
This is me typing.
That's amazing.
No kidding.
So this is
really cool.
Okay. So this is me joining as a sign language interpreter. So if I select my camera and then I join, and then I've got another invite. So this is what the sign language interpreter will see. But also.
But the StreamYard part is still just that green box.
Yeah. This whole box is what the audience will see.
Got it.
But the stream from StreamYard is coming into the green part, and then you're on the side with the captions underneath. Awesome. Yeah.
So now I've joined with the other invite. So if I had a colleague working with me, we would be able to co-work essentially, because we can see each other. So how sign language interpreters work is they're passing signs to each other that they're kind of keeping that communication going, so they can see each other, they can see what's going out in the stream. And then the cool thing is, if the other sign language interpreter wants to take over, they just click request control, and now you see there's a button appeared which says give control. So now I can switch over. Let's click that, and then that will switch over, and it'll be the other interpreter.
Nice. Yeah.
And then if I want it back, I just click request control. And then
And that's for shift changes, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When it's been 8 hours and your time is up.
Often they'll only go 15 minutes between changeovers because it's to do with the cognition. You know, they sort of after a while, you know, it is really hard to kind of process what people are saying, but also, you know, to do the signs.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
So that's basically it.
Yeah,
and then when
really awesome.
Only add an extra half a second on, less than half a second onto the stream. So when you send it, it's only adding less than half a second. So,
So I was actually wondering that too. I was like, I wonder, like, are they getting the 10-second like standard latency? But it sounds like no, it's just half a second.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
so what's really good about that is within so I just need to refresh this, but you can generate a text link. So, for example, if someone is in StreamYard who is perhaps deaf, so on our launch event, which we did at the beginning of March, one of our presenters was a deaf presenter, and they were using the captions. But what they could do is they could see the captions that were being generated from within AccessLOOP on a tablet, and so they could in almost real time.
Yeah.
So they were able to kind of follow along really easily.
And we also have had deaf interpreters who are amazing interpreters because it's their native language. Right. And how they interpret is they have the live text and they interpret from the live text. So we were able to provide that for them. They didn't have to provide their own support. We were able to give that to them. So, and it's also for the future for hybrid events. You can have that text displayed on site, but also going out in the stream. So we've kind of tried to look forward to what's coming next.
Wow. I have a question. Neat. Can viewers watch from AccessLOOP, or do you have to send it to YouTube or to another place for them to watch?
Yeah, so you do have to send it to another place to watch. So it's not built for scalability in the sense that, you know, you only literally have about 5 people who can join it at one time.
Yes, so similar to StreamYard, like only the people who are involved are in the studio, and then everyone watches on the platform. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Then that's how the latency stays so low.
Yes.
Right.
But you can see. So so you can see the sort of slight delay. So if I put my hand up will come there. So it's literally that.
That is very slight. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Cool.
And then
this is so cool.
This is fun to see.
Yes.
And then when you finish, you just press stop loop. Job done.
But I think what's lovely is I do this every day in various different ways. And, you know, we've just come on here and in 5 minutes, we've had sign language and captions out running on the stream. In real life, it takes a lot longer with a lot more equipment, a lot more hassle, a lot more testing, a lot more time and equipment and people. So we wanted to take that whole layer out. And also what you get is technicians going, how big should these captions be? How many lines? You know, it's fine. We would tell them, but not everybody does. We've made those decisions. We know how big they should be. We know how many lines. In AccessLOOP, just set it up and you're good. The standard is there. It's fine.
Wow.
This
That's
is
fantastic.
really neat. Thank you so much for showing us the ins and outs of how to use it.
It's a pleasure. We love it.
It's
and
great
it's just
to know.
every day is demos, so it's a happy day for us.
Yes. So many demos.
Can you share with us the pricing and how that works? Is it per hour? Is it subscription?
So it is subscription. It's probably easier if people go to the website. There's a whole sort of list of the pricing, but it's a subscription. Well, starting at the bottom, there's actually a pay-as-you-go model, which we're going to introduce all the features to coming up. But at the moment, it's just the captions. And then it's a subscription level so the first subscription is just captions only, and then it's captions and sign language. And then the top tier is the language translation as well.
Got it. Yep,
and the website is just accessloop.com.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
You do have to then get yourself a captioner and your interpreters as well. So we can signpost you all across the world. We can signpost you. You don't have to, you know, this is a standalone platform. It's not attached to anything. So you can use your own suppliers, people that you want to use as well.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. But just remember as well, you know, it's not just deaf and hard of hearing people that use captions. People with neurodiversity use captions all the time. So people with dyspraxia, dyslexia, auditory processing disorder. We have a lot of feedback from people with ADHD They keep the captions, keep them in the room, they say. Older people, people with English as a second language, and people in noisy environments. So kind of everybody uses captions.
Absolutely.
So it's just, and then if you don't have interpreting, basically that person can't access. Anybody who needs an interpreter needs to access in that way.
Yeah.
So you're just increasing your audience, really.
Yeah,
absolutely.
making it more accessible.
Wow, this has been such an enlightening and like exciting episode. I'm excited to explore the AccessLOOP further.
Yeah, I'm so impressed that it's so new, you know? And it's solving so many issues for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because it is using RTMP, you know, you can use it with any platform you like. So Hopin, we've tested it with Hopin and it works great. And then obviously YouTube, Facebook, all those kind of the usual ones. So we want it to be used by as many different sort of use cases as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As long as it's RTMP, you can tune there. That's what we say.
You can also run as many concurrent projects as you like. So if you have lots of different things going on at the same time, you can run them all through AccessLOOP. So
that's good to
it's pretty cool.
That
We're
is
doing
good to know.
lots of stuff with theaters because it's a really easy way to get captioning onto theater shows. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Our audience is saying thank you.
Oh,
thank you
welcome.
too.
Yeah.
This has been such a good episode.
Up late for.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, we've had such a good reaction from the StreamYarders. I've lost count of the number of demos we've done with people that have, you know, just heard of it through the StreamYard group. So that's great. I mean, it's a perfect tool for StreamYard. So we're really pleased about that.
My favorite thing is we were chatting to a client that I've worked with regularly, and it's to promote women, and we did a 24-hour show for them. It was quite difficult with the sign language interpreters and captions. And I was like, you guys need to see this. And then I told them about StreamYard. And I was like, I really think guys need to get on StreamYard. And one of the women said, I'm so excited about this, but I'm really excited about StreamYard because it means we can self-produce our own stuff. We don't need to bring in AV people and producers for the actual production, but now we don't have to bring them in for access as well.
Basically, they don't need to pay me lots of money to come and do it for them.
I never pay you lots of money, Dan.
No, I wish.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
that for me was a great demo, because it was like we kind of gave them the information and the tools to kind of be independent, which means they can do more events and more access because they've freed themselves up.
Yeah. I love that. We're all about ease of use, you know, making it easy to use for everyone. Yeah. And now you're just making it easy to make it accessible for everyone.
Exactly. Well, that was our aim from the word go. That was it. It was just, we had in mind our clients who had no technical knowledge and no money. And then we had in mind kind of huge production companies to make their work processes a lot easier. And actually both ends of those are our clients, which is great. So it worked. The kind of plan worked.
Yeah.
Love it. Wow. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show today. It's been so fun.
Pleasure.
It's so nice to be asked because we're so young.
Yes.
Month two.
This was so exciting.
I know, it is month two. It is
very cool. Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch very soon.
Yes.
And just get in touch for a demo. If anyone wants a demo, just get in touch. We love doing demos, and we can show you the language features are amazing when you see it in action. Dan brings in like 5 different screens with all sorts of different languages on it, and it's brilliant.
Fantastic.
It's just great. It just brings pleasure.
Okay. AccessLOOP.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night. Thank you for staying up for us.
Bye, Neil.
All right.
Bye,
Thank
Neil.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I took Kelsey off. Where'd she go?
Bye.
Bye. Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake.
This was so fun. So cool. Oh, there's puddles.
What's happening?
Well, we'll be back. That's our giveaway that we're going to do next week. We did the puddles giveaway last week. We're going to do it next week too. There it is. Love it.
Love puddles.
Well, we're out of time today, but we will be back next week with another episode. Thank you so much to our special guests, Dan and Orla. I feel like I learned so much. I love educational spotlights instead of, it breaks it up from the usual spotlight of a show.
Totally.
So I thought it was fun.
Totally.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.